everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, I get to lead the podcast. And today, we're going to be talking about a movie that I used to watch obsessively when I was a teenager. And that movie is A Fish Called Wanda.
Yes.
It's about a fish.
A
called
fish.
Wanda.
Her name is Wanda. She's an angel fish.
There actually is an angel
there
fish.
There is a literal fish named Wanda.
Called Wanda.
But there's a human character named Wanda, too.
There's also Jamie Lee Curtis as Wanda.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yep.
She was just gorgeous back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she just...
Back in the day? Oh my
God!
god!
Okay, and
as if she's not
when
still...
was this movie made? 80-something?
88. No, it was made in 1988 because Kevin Kline won the Academy Award in 1989.
Jamie Lee Curtis looks like her father. Like, you can tell that she's
Curtis.
Tony Curtis's daughter. She's so pretty. I love her. I love her to absolute bits. Mm-hmm. And I really like her in A Fish Called Wanda. Teresa has opinions. We'll get there.
That's the thing. I watched this movie obsessively as a teenager, and I really loved this movie. And then I learned...
So quotable. It's really quotable.
It's such a good, if you look at the characters and you look at the story and you look at the adventure as it unfolds as you go along.
It's a heist movie. What's not to like? Like it's like the beginning of Snatch, where you have a jewelry heist at the beginning. All of a sudden, there's guns and things exploding, and there's diamonds being stolen, and it's a whole big get down, and like it's very engaging.
It was an English robbery. And none of that shit happened. It was
down!
It was
gonna blow!
Everyone was utterly silent except for George.
Well, okay.
And all he said was, and I quote, "If anybody moves, you're dead." That was the one line.
Glass does get broken. They're lying. Don't listen.
Oh my god.
Someone has an apple that they put on their head.
Yeah, Otto.
Yeah.
It's a little more sedate than Snatch. Snatch is very, Guy Ritchie is all, whoa, with the camera. And Fish Called Wanda never does.
The sound that it makes in her head, yeah. So anyway.
Well, the Kill Bill sirens are going off. Fish Called...
Is that where her name was Wanda? Fish Called Wanda!
Fish Called, oh dear Jesus. So they're similar, and there is glass broken.
It's an English robbery.
And there are people freaking
It was the most polite robbery that has ever occurred.
Could you kindly pass me the diamonds?
Thank you. Put those diamonds.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's a fun movie. We have a diamond heist. We have people fighting over possession of the diamonds. We have, there's no honor among thieves. They're all backstabbing each other. There's a femme fatale. There's it's fun. It's a fun movie, and it is quotable, and it is funny as hell. Kevin Kline.
Kevin Kline. Okay,
he's so good.
Kevin Kline. I think I may have talked about this before. Kevin Kline. I love Kevin Kline. Of course, I've talked about Kevin Kline before. No.
Oh, you talked about it
Kline,
during Beauty and the Beast.
Yes, Kevin Kline literally not only did he win an Academy Award for this movie, but Kevin Kline was so funny ad-libbing that Jamie Lee Curtis could not maintain, and she kept laughing and ruining the take. So she had a pin that she would hold in her hand and squeeze it to hurt herself so that she wouldn't laugh because of Kevin Kline. And apparently Kevin Kline got mad at her for so many takes that were ruined.
There is a reason he got the Oscar for that role.
Yeah.
He's so funny. Otto's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And the dialogue
I did not understand any of his dialogue when I was a fucking kid.
He's taken one philosophy course at community college, and now he knows everything.
I was thinking you meant you didn't understand him, and I was about to get offended because, Kevin Kline's diction is amazing.
No. I mean, what he's talking about.
They were God's second blunder.
Yeah.
I've never
Kevin
taken
Kline
philosophy.
has a beautiful voice. But yes, he's very let's talk about Nietzsche.
The funny thing about him is that he's supposed to be so smart, but he says things that are just the opposite of true. They're so wrong. Just so
that's the thing.
But I didn't fucking know.
Mm-hmm. There's two types of smarts. Okay, two major types of smarts. Perhaps you remember in Tommy Boy when we learned there are two major types of smarts. There's book smarts and there's street smarts. Kevin Kline's character is not book smart. Quoting Wanda, Aristotle was not Belgian.
Yes.
The central message of Buddhism is not every man for himself, and the London Underground is not a political movement.
Those are all wrong, Otto. I looked them up.
Those were all mistakes.
Yeah.
So that on the one hand, he does not understand Nietzsche when he reads it. He doesn't understand books. his Italian learning is
It's a restaurant
really
menu.
bad.
It's so funny.
All he knows how to say in Italian
Mozzarella.
Mozzarella.
Yeah, and also things like,
Parmigiana.
how do I get to the Vatican? Like, he's
Yeah.
clearly...
Dove il Vaticano?
He's clearly reciting base level, entry level Italian,
Yeah.
but so his
Okay,
book
but at least
smarts.
he's trying.
Well,
And
At
that's
least
to
he's really
seduce
trying.
Wanda, though, because he knows that
Yeah.
Wanda likes that.
Wanda likes language.
So-
So he's reading her the menu of some Italian restaurant. Like
Exactly.
Fettuccine.
She lets him do it though. But no, so book smarts is one thing.
Kevin Kline.
I know, right? Book smarts is one thing, but then street smarts is another. So like, Kevin Kline's character is smart enough to know how to manipulate people, right? He's smart enough to know that when Ken starts thinking, well, something weird's going on here, he knows that
Immediately double trap it.
Yeah,
like,
he
flip it around.
pretends to, instead of, oh, I can't be sleeping with Wanda, I can't be sleeping with Wanda if I pretend to be gay, and I hit on Ken. So that throws Ken off, because if he thinks I'm gay, I'm not going to be hitting on Wanda, so clearly...
Kevin Otto is very good at getting people off their balance. He is very good at just throwing wrenches in and
Right,
flipping
just
things around.
dismantling.
Yeah,
and
because he does the exact same thing
yes.
to Archie's wife, Wendy, when he shows up at the house,
Yeah,
and
it
she's
pretends
like,
to be the KGB.
why are you here?
Yeah.
And he
It's an
immediately...
XK Red 27
Yeah,
technique.
he immediately throws ethos at her. Madam, I'm working for the CIA, and we have a high-ranking KGB defector in a safe house near here, and we're debriefing him as of now. And he knows to, like, throw all of that at her so that she'll be like, oh,
He's
I don't know.
hoping to confuse her by throwing a lot of intimidating words at her, but she is like, my father was with British intelligence, and this is not how things work. And he's just kind of like, well, obviously you're not American, so you don't know what you're talking about.
Yep. So...
It's so funny. It's
yeah.
a genuinely funny movie.
Mhm.
It is, and the dialogue is good, and you do care about these diamonds, and you care about the people.
I
interacting
didn't
with
like
each
it as a
other.
kid because of the killing of the dogs.
Yeah,
I did not
well,
appreciate
neither did
Right.
Ken. Ken didn't like that either.
Right. So...
I know, but they do the little choir people whenever the funeral.
Yes,
I would
yes,
just sob
it's-
as a kid.
no,
That's
no, no.
also why I didn't like Ace Ventura fucking 2.
Yes,
because of that
the
beginning
raccoon.
scene.
But that's a
I'm
reference.
not supposed to. How am I supposed to
Yeah.
know it's a reference? All I see is a raccoon
All I
that's
see is a
dying,
raccoon, and
I would sob.
Yeah.
Hardcore
Well, no, okay,
sob.
okay, let me tell you something, backstory here. That really dark humor in A Fish Called Wanda where they accidentally keep killing the dogs, that was actually supposed to be even worse. Because remember the final one where the cement
the
block...
squishy one.
Oh
yes.
yeah.
The original idea for that was to have, like, fake guts split
Oh
everywhere.
no!
And
that
they were
would've
like,
been
nope, that's too
unpleasant.
far, can't do it.
Yeah.
And so they didn't do
Well,
that.
because that's not funny.
That's what
No,
I'm
that's
saying.
not
They
funny.
realized that's a bit too far. Dark humor only works in a certain way, and so they're
Yeah.
like, no, thank you.
It's like, no, we'll just have it be you no longer see the dog.
Exactly.
Clearly
Well, no, you
something
see
has
the
happened
little-
with the dog. The
Yeah.
retractable leash is underneath this big ass block, but we don't need to see.
Yeah, but they still lift it anyway, don't
No.
they? No,
No, that's
no,
the that's
no,
not-
that's
because
the
at that
first
point
one.
the old lady dies. Okay,
Right.
you don't know why the old lady is dead.
Spoilers.
Sorry.
Oh my goodness.
They rob the bank, they steal the jewels. In their getaway, they almost hit this old lady who's got 3 little Yorkshire Terriers.
Mrs. Eileen Cody.
Mrs. Eileen Cody. She's like 90 years old, and she's got these 3 little yippy dogs, and she loves them. They're her whole life, and that's her whole character. Is you know you said it better with the. She's mean to people because she's trying to protect the dogs.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. I
Yeah.
used to love this movie as a kid, but then I started looking into, I don't know, feminism. And it occurred to me that all of the female characters are extremely flat in this movie, and all of the male characters are far more rounded than any of the women. And that's one of the arguments that I brought up, was that Mrs. Cody is this elderly woman, and her primary responsibility in the movie is to be the mother to her dogs. So every scene we see her in, she's walking her dogs, she's caring for her dogs, she's putting her dogs down for a nap, you know. But if you look at her dialogue, we had to destroy her character to let Wanda get away.
Well, to make it not as sad when she does die. Because
Yeah, because if you tell the story the way it really happened, an elderly woman loses the only 3 animals that she ever cared about in her life, and that horrific loss right in front of her face causes her to be in such pain that she has a heart attack and dies on the sidewalk cold and alone. And that is a tragedy.
Yeah.
But we can't have it be a tragedy because she has to fall for Wanda to get away. So therefore, how are we going to make it not be a tragedy? Ooh, I know. Let's make her a bitch.
Right.
And so she's a bitch to all the humans at the expense of being the mother to her dog. So if you look at her dialogue, there's only like 3 lines in the whole movie.
Well, if you look at the women in general, all 4 of the major females in this movie have one primary motivation, and that's like their entire thing. Even Wanda. Hers is grift. Granted, at the end, you think she does really legit fall in love with Archie. I think that was real. But it could have been not. It could have been all part of the grift. Like, she could hit him on the head and steal the money when they get to Russia. You don't know.
That's what really should have happened, based on her character.
Well, it'd be like the end of... did you guys see the robot one with Alicia Vikander? What was that called? It had Oscar Isaac in it.
No.
I forget what it was called.
Well, of course, Jeanette would know Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac, girl. No, it had Brendan Gleeson's kid. What's that boy's name?
Jackie Gleason.
The one that was in... Okay. It was a really good movie. It ended really sad.
We saw it in theater. We saw it in theaters. No. The one where he's creating the robots and he creates she's trying to get out.
AI, and she pretends that she's in love with...
Oh, that's X...
What's Brendan Gleeson's name?
Ex Machina.
Ex Machina,
Yeah,
yes.
I saw it in theaters. I was like, give me a second.
It's an amazing, beautiful movie.
That is a good movie.
My heart at the end.
That was the first movie that Nathan met Dad at.
Yeah.
I went to go see it.
Yeah. It's really good. Like, it's a really solid movie. But at the end, she's been playing you the entire fucking time. That was her programming. That was her whole purpose. But, you know, she lied completely to whatever Brendan Gleeson's son's name is. Wow. I cannot think of his first name. It's killing me. I want to say Dermot, and that is not his name. Oh, I don't know. Brendan Gleeson I can name right now, but it's
fine. So, but like the problem that I have with the movie is that if you really look into A Fish Called Wanda, all of the female characters are extremely, extremely flat, and this is my major problem with the film, because Wanda spends the whole movie using her sex to get her way. Basically. Yes, that's the problem. She is in a relationship with George and screws him over. She's sleeping with Otto and screws him literally.
Both of them.
And then she kisses Ken to get information out of him, and she heavily kisses him. Yeah. Michael Palin,
very much like
if I wasn't with
George,
more than once. Yeah. And then she also has the romance with Archie Leach, and the real actress had to lay there letting John Cleese kiss her boobs, kind of a lot, and then. Just the whole movie, the whole time, all the dudes in the movie are like groping her and kissing her, and she's using it to get her way, and it's just really super annoying because we don't know anything.
She's so smart, and you know she's smart because of how she talks to Archie, like, and everything. You can tell she's really actually smart, but that's her main weapon is just to be like.
Well, it's kind of like Black Widow,
and
right?
You are
Black Widow. Mm-hmm. People pretend like Black Widow. Her main thing is sexuality, like she seduces you and then destroys you. But if you watch, if you really look at Black Widow's character, like there's that scene where she's pretending that she's trapped. She's pretending that she's being interrogated. She's tied to the chair, and she's like, "This idiot's giving me everything." You remember that scene?
Mm-hmm.
That scene shows who Black Widow really is. She's smart. She's thinking. She's building. That's what it is. It's not so much the sexuality as it is the using what you've got to get what you want.
Well, but
it's
the
deeper
problem,
than that.
The problem is that that's all she really does in the movie, and that's all that Archie knows about her in the movie. And if you really think about it, by the end of the movie, Archie doesn't know anything about her at all. He doesn't know who her parents are, if she really has any siblings, if she has any kind of hobbies. He doesn't know anything about her except that she really did rob a bank, screw over everybody, and then run away with the diamonds. And he actually says that to her. He's like, so you rob the bank, turn one of your lovers over to the police, keep the other one to help you find the diamonds, and then when you do, you commit perjury in the high court, right? And she's like, yes, because yes, that's literally what she did.
I wonder where you could be going at 5 to 7 with that sawed-off shotgun.
Totally. Why are you getting on a plane with this woman if you know nothing about her? And by the way, in order to get on the plane with her, he had to leave behind his wife and his daughter of more than 10 years.
And his country. And
his entire country. Right. He gets married to Wanda. They have 12 children. And they found a business together.
Well, according to the,
according to the epilogue.
The plane is flying away and they've got like...
it's the epilogue. It's what happens to them at the end of the story.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
That's what the story tells us happens.
Which, fine, you know, his family doesn't appreciate him. His wife is kind of a harpy. That's her motivation.
Whole entire character.
You know,
just to be a bitch.
Yeah, just...
Because
has to be.
His wife being a bitch justifies why it's okay for him to cheat.
Exactly. Yeah. He spends the entire movie cheating on her, so therefore the wife has to be a bitch from the very beginning in order for us not to feel bad.
He doesn't actually get to cheat. He tries.
Oh,
no.
He meets like 3 different times in a like secluded location.
I would say
just because they didn't fuck doesn't mean he didn't cheat.
It's emotional cheating. As
he's kissing her booties.
Scene 1, he's kissing her on her breast a lot of times.
That.
The second time, they were literally going to have sex. She's like here on the rug.
They were absolutely.
They were in a bed. He was feeling her up.
He was 1,000% on board with that. It just didn't happen because.
And then that third time, he was like completely naked when someone else came in.
He was completely naked.
So it was gonna happen.
So yes, he was 1,000% on board with that.
Cheating.
And they do justify it by saying, well, his wife is cold and impersonal. They sleep in 2 different beds. They clearly probably haven't had any sex in the last couple of years. They don't care.
Well, and that's what that scene is for, is to show the difference between what Wanda's doing versus what he's doing, because they're flashing back between her having sex with Kevin Kline with Otto.
Yeah, it's
and
an
then they flash
scene.
and then they flash back to him getting ready for bed, doing this most like mundane things.
Yeah,
you know, and then they're sleeping in separate beds, so that way you can see that there's really nothing there. You know what I mean? They have 1 kid, but I mean, what happened there?
Well, and that was 18 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, the daughter in the movie is played by John Cleese's real life daughter. That's nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or is it? Dum dum dum.
I kind of like it
because I'll tell you something. That's my other complaint about this movie. Portia is purely a virginal character and doesn't get to do anything at all. And the weird thing is, they made the sequel kind of sort of Fierce Creatures, and that same woman is still a virgin at the age of 30. And I'm like,
maybe.
No, she's a virginal character. She is. She's never sexual. She's never sexualized. She's in that black dress the whole time. I mean, and then they have that one sex joke.
She is kissing him that one time with her hip up.
That's what I'm saying. There's one sex joke where she's implied to be in a threesome. It's a misunderstanding, but she's allegedly in the threesome joke. She's in the back. Yeah. And Carrie Lowell's in the front, lingerie model, half naked. Let's not sexualize my daughter. Let's sexualize this other woman because she's a supermodel, so therefore...
You could argue that maybe there's something there.
I just think it's suspicious.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm just saying, like I said, I really love A Fish Called Wanda, but the second you start looking into the female characters, the fact
especially
that
they stick to that one motivation and they stick really hard... People don't have one core motivation most of the time. We might have one goal that we're working toward, but it's not going to be like the only thing ever.
It's their only personality trait. That's the problem. Yeah. Because if you look at the male characters, Archie Leach gets to have 4 hobbies and a family and a backstory. Okay, none of the women get a backstory except that Wendy she got married one time and had a kid. That's her only backstory. You can't tell me where she went to college. You can't tell me where Wanda went to college. You can't tell me where Mrs. Cody went to college.
You can barely tell me what Wendy does at work.
Yeah, you can't tell me if Portia wants to go to college, but I'll tell you what you can tell me. You can tell me that Archie Leach used to box for Oxford, which is both a hobby and a backstory. You can tell me that Archie Leach knows how to speak Russian, knows how to speak Italian, knows how to polka dance, knows how to box, because he's a male character.
Well,
and therefore...
That's not entirely fair, because Archie Leach, being the mark... For the most part, he has more of a role to play in this story than his daughter does.
A Fish Called Wanda. What is Wanda's hobby?
Grifting.
Yeah, that's her only personality trait. You can't tell me if she whittles. You can't tell me if she knows origami.
Origami?
You can't tell me.
I know the origami.
You can't tell me if she knows origami or jujitsu or knows how to knife attack someone. You can't tell me if she went to college. You can't tell me if she knows anything like that. You can't tell me a hobby. You can't tell me if she has parents that are living. George is the least important male.
He probably does not.
No. George is the least important male in the entire movie. How come George gets to have a backstory and friends
we need
parents
George's parents
and
because they're his alibi to how come he had glass on his pants.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. It's in the story.
Well, another thing, Wanda is in a country that is not hers. No one in that country is related to Wanda, probably. Wanda, she's by herself. She's in a small group of 5 people. Of course, this is going to be a thing.
You can't tell me what she did in her life before she hooked up with George. You can't.
Do you need it?
You can't tell me, as a person, who she was before the story began. But Otto used to kill for the CIA. That's called a backstory.
Well, he said he used to kill for the CIA.
I had a good friend in the CIA who lost his life. Damn it. He brings it up more than once.
I don't trust the word Otto says. I think
That's
that
true.
He says things, but I think he's just trying to build it. I think he's trying to puff. You know what I mean?
He says it more than once.
He says it more than once, but that could be just because it's a comforting lie.
I mean, where else would he get the training to be the marksman that he was?
Right. He does have training.
And still, the fact is, he still says it. Even if it's not true, he still has a fake backstory.
He has a fake backstory.
None of the women have a backstory.
Well,
and even still, they're either way too slutty, or the rest of them are just bitches just to be bitches.
Right.
That's the
You know what
problem.
I mean?
I
like
love
his
this
wife
movie.
and his daughter are both just naggy to give you reason for him to go away.
Justification.
Because he's not naggy, so therefore he's better than that, so he needs something better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's the problem. In order for Wanda to get away,
if you are going to portray adultery in film, you really have to justify it. Because if you don't justify it, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
That's the thing.
I don't give a fuck.
You had to make Wendy a bitch from the very beginning of the story because Archie starts cheating on her from the first act. Okay, he starts hitting on Wanda a little bit from the first act there.
Yeah, that happens. There was that one movie, that Mark Ruffalo movie.
Yes.
Where I was like, why the
Why are
fuck
you
would
cheating
you
on Mark
cheat on
Ruffalo?
Mark Ruffalo?
He's a good, solid
What
human
is wrong
being.
with you? He's
You are
perfect.
clearly stupid. First off, Mark
and then
Ruffalo.
she cheated on for that guy. I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No.
Okay, I'm thinking of 13 going on 30. What movie is that?
No. It's that terrible movie,
Rumor has
The
it.
Graduate.
Rumor has it. It was rumor has it. She had an affair with Kurt. No, with what's
What's
man's
his name?
The man from The Untouchables.
Kurt Russell.
No,
Kurt Cobain.
No, not Kurt Russell.
I always confuse him with Dennis Quaid. I always confuse him with Dennis Quaid.
Randy Quaid.
Hold on. I can think of this man's name. You guys are killing me. I had it right
I'm
there.
sorry.
Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner. Yes.
I'm not going to have an affair with Kevin Costner over Mark Ruffalo. I'm going to have an affair with Mark Ruffalo over pretty much anybody.
Wow.
Like,
well, it's fucking true. That movie,
he's so
like, why?
sweet. He's
Just
so
'cause he's
good.
got
He's
money?
such a good human being.
Right.
And he's in this movie. He's fine. He's great. He's perfect. Like, there's nothing wrong with him.
Right.
Only she's
That's
having
an example
a
of
midlife
if you're going to
crisis
have
and, like,
adultery, you need to... I mean, yeah, she goes back to him in the end, but why the fuck would you stray? It's fucking Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
Like, give me a break.
Well, she was going through some things. It was personal issues. But, like, it's not justified
She was
for
going
me.
through... Okay, I was about to say... You said she
justifiable
was going through some
adultery.
things.
Yeah. I don't think it's justified because Mark Ruffalo didn't deserve it. It's kind of like
if Mark Ruffalo was
Yaya's
slightly abusive,
Sisterhood, there's no cheating in Yaya's Sisterhood. But I honestly don't think any of the men in that movie deserved any of those women. I think the men in Yaya's Sisterhood are just solid, down to earth human beings, and they're all like poor Shep. Shep Walker, he does not deserve Vivi. Vivi's a nightmare.
He's a good, hardworking guy.
Yes.
Who's doing his best to raise these kids, but she's got issues.
Yeah.
And so
I just if you don't give me a reason.
Yeah, if there's so that's the good thing about this movie is that it does do that, but it does it too much. It does it with too many women.
It does it at the expense of all the female characters. That's the problem. Right. You have to destroy Portia and Wendy and Mrs. Cody in order for Wanda to get away. And that's the problem. If you turn 3 of the only 4 women into bitches in order to destroy them, then all we're left with is Wanda,
right, so you have to be on
who
her side.
Doesn't have a backstory. She doesn't have a personality, really.
And then what is it saying about women in general? We're either conniving sexual bitches or we are mean harpy bitches.
Oh, what it's saying is that bitches get stitches, but beauty gets
stitches.
booty. Oh, that's the point of this movie.
Well, you do kind of question a little bit here.
I mean, this movie,
I really like it.
It's not a good feminist movie, but if you ignore that, it's fucking hilarious.
If you ignore it the way I did when I was 14 and you only watch it for what they're trying to show you, which is the men having a fun time robbing banks, then
it is a fun heist movie.
It's a heist movie.
How are they going to get away with it? They've got the diamonds. How are they going to smuggle the diamonds out of England?
And then there's Stephen Fry for 2 seconds.
And then Stephen Fry. Look, the Queen. I love Stephen Fry too. He's funny. But yeah, so like the movie, it is good. It is interesting. It is what's going on with the diamonds.
It's worth it. It's
watching them
just...
double cross each other and then coming back and like trying to like, I never double crossed you at all. And like, yeah, you did, but
this movie is
yeah.
only good if you don't like fucking magnify.
Yes, if you don't pick the problems.
If you're not like, you know what?
Can we take a minute and talk about how Michael Palin is amazing and could have actually died?
Could have
In the final scene, in his final scene with Otto, Kevin Kline is torturing Michael Palin, and Michael Palin, the real actor, really did get all of his airways cut off for a solid, like, 20 seconds.
I thought you meant with the cement roller, and I was like, he was fine, he was on the top.
No,
I'm
talking about how
Otto knows that Ken knows that where the diamonds are. Ken was involved. Ken was part of this. So Otto goes, and Ken is like, you know, haha, we did the thing. Now we're gonna go get the jewels and then take off. Like, that's the plan. And Kevin Kline goes, oh, so the loot's near the airport, is it, Ken? And Ken's
Speaking
like,
of airports,
I know.
Anyway.
Yeah. And so Otto doesn't want Ken to be part of it. Otto wants the money. Otto wants him and Wanda to take the money and run. And so he has Kevin Kline has poor Ken tied to a chair, and he's interrogating him. And he's eating his fish.
With Nietzsche.
And he's like...
He starts torturing him.
Did I tell you I do that every single morning to my fish?
Yes.
Yeah, when I go to feed my fish, I turn on the light and I go, hello, lunch! And it's probably not very nice.
And yeah, he eats the fish because that's a way to torture Ken.
That's the thing. Otto, again, having a personality, gets to have a torturing streak because remember at the very beginning...
He gets to have a torturing
No, he does. As a character, that's a personality thing, you see. Because in the beginning, when he finds out the diamonds have been moved, what's his first thought? First, I'm going to hang George up by piano wire.
Yes.
Then what are we going to do? Oh, I'm sorry, you're leaving? Bye. And then he tries, in the bank robbery, he holds the guy up, puts an apple on his head, and starts trying to shoot it. Right. And George is like, stop it. Has to smack his hand. And then, he hangs Archie out of a window. Remember that part where he hangs a man out of the window?
He hangs a man. I really am very sorry.
Him up, hits him on the head, like he's literally beating people up in this movie. And then it culminates in him tying poor Michael Palin to a chair.
Michael Palin.
And Michael Palin
has a pear in his mouth.
Has a
and
pear
French fries up his
covered in ketchup.
And he
up his nose.
Could have literally died. If you watch Michael Palin's face, he had no air. And I'm like, Kevin Kline, I love you, but you got to wrap that shit up, buddy.
Yeah.
Because
it's so scary. You can see his cheeks
you can
pulling in
see
because
him.
he's pulling that much air. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably could have just spat it out and it would have been fine, but it's scary to think about.
No,
it is a very
scary
scene.
On his face.
It is very scary.
So,
and poor Ken, he didn't want to give anything up, but you know, and he's like, it's in the fish tank, and then he goes and looks in the fish tank, and there is no key. Like, where is it, Ken? And then he eats the fish. He eats every single one of Kevin Kline's fish, including Wanda. They all get eaten. I'm so sorry about the fish.
Devastating.
But that's why Ken gets revenge at the end.
Ken gets revenge.
And again,
for Wanda!
Again, Ken gets to have something none of the women have, which is a redeeming character arc.
Yes.
Ken gets to have a stutter the whole time, and when he finally wins over Otto, because Otto spent the whole movie bullying him, so he finally gets that lack of self-confidence back, and because he has the self-confidence back, that causes him to lose his stutter. I lost my stutter.
Also,
I can speak.
Very much going to jail.
And that's my point, is that even Wanda, in A Fish Called Wanda, doesn't get to have a character arc. She doesn't decide.
No, she does.
No, hush. She does not decide. She does not decide that she wants to do this. She doesn't decide, I'm going to give up my law-breaking ways. No. John Cleese sits down next to her on a plane and says, behave yourself from now on or I'll break your neck, okay? That's not her decision. That's his decision for her.
I think that she does legit fall in love over the course of the movie, because there are moments when she is completely alone, that the character, she's not performing for anybody, but you can see it in her face that she's like wistful.
Yeah, but they did that in Frozen too.
Well, they did. I have arguments about Frozen.
We've already talked about we already have our theory out there.
If the character is by themselves, outside of everybody, no one that they know or care is there, and they're doing something legit with their face, that's honest.
Well, that's the thing, though.
That's the thing.
The reason we're supposed to like Archie is because he's supposed to be kind compared to George, who just wants the money, Otto, who just wants the sex. You know, I mean, Kevin
Wants
Kline.
the sex and money.
Yeah, but no, I mean, Ken would be kind to her, but she's like, oh, I just want the money. So like, but we're supposed to believe that Archie Leach is the one kind, romantic character, and that's why she likes him.
Yeah, but it's also
sweet.
supposed to be, haha, Ken's too soft because he loves animals. You know what I mean? That's his whole character is supposed to be like.
Well, you know,
well, the reason that she's not with Ken is because Ken thought she was with George, so that was already broken from the get-go.
And that's why Ken secretly named his angelfish Wanda, because he secretly has a crush on Wanda. That's why he gives her the information. Yeah. So yet again, Ken, multiple layers. Because it's a dude.
Anyway, we should wrap it up.
We should wrap it up.
I think it's a nice movie. I think that even though the characters have... It's funny.
It's a really good movie. I still really like the movie.
The heist is great. I would recommend it just on this is a solid movie.
That's the thing. If you don't focus on the female characters and how they don't have any kind of backstory at all, then it's a really good movie because you get to focus on the comedy between. I mean, come on, 2 of the members of Monty Python are writing this. You know,
you know it's going to be good. You got writers that are good.
Yeah, you've got really solid writers. And they really did try to work through all the plot holes and everything. It's just that...
And some of the dialogue is goddamn hilarious.
It really is. It's really quotable.
So funny.
Oh, you English are so superior, aren't you? And it's just like, oh, Kevin Kline. So I really do love this movie. I really do.
I love watching your ass when you walk.
But again, that's Kevin Kline. Ad-libbing that shit,
Don't touch him. He's mine.
Oh, Kevin Kline is a good-looking, talented man. He is just something else.
Anyway, so our love of Kevin Kline aside, Daphne, final opinions.
I mean, Kevin Kline does kind of make the movie, really. I mean, everyone else is still, like, really good.
But Kevin Kline is hilarious.
But,
yeah, I would say if you did take Kevin Kline out, the movie would be very much not nearly as good. Right. It would lose something special.
Well, the question is, how much did he add to it by ad-libbing, and how much was in the script already, you know?
I don't know. And the music's really good.
The music is amazing.
It's really dramatic. It's really good.
Apparently.
The heist is great.
Yeah.
So, recommend.
Yes.
Despite the flaws.
There's only flaws if you, like, really look at it. Like, if you really, like, force yourself to be like, let me compare all these characters.
Like, why did you write that character that way?
Right, yeah. If you just watch the movie, it's a good film. I mean, obviously, like, the sexualization of Jamie Lee Curtis, you kind of can't overlook that one.
Right.
Because it's literally shoved in your face. But, I mean, everything else it's fine. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. It's good.
Yeah. That's good. I like it.
I think it's a good movie. I think it's top tier.
It's still
It's not in my top 10 favorite ever, but it is up there.
There is Kevin Kline
doing the thing.
He's so goddamn funny, you guys.
That's the clip that they showed at the Oscars, by the way. Him being like, which hand should I put out? You're like, this one? You're like, this one. And he's like, I'm warning you also. You know, anyway, it's a good movie. It is.
You know, fight me that's fight like man! Come on! It's so good! It's so good. It's so quotable.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to quote it every single day, but I do.
I probably do,
because
every
time
because of my fish.
When it was like, North Vietnam, shut up! We did not lose Vietnam. It was a tie. I'm telling you, baby.
They whooped your head real good.
Oh, no, they didn't.
Oh, yes, they did. Oh, no, they didn't. Oh, yes, they did.
Oh, no, they shut up. Goodbye, Archie.
It's so funny.
Maybe he's in a bucket of shit while they're doing
oil
this.
runoff from the airplane like a sludge.
God.
Yes. It's so funny.
But again, that's Otto wanting to humiliate people, wanting to torture people.
Yes.
Get in that barrel of oil so I can shoot you in the face.
First off, I'm going to mock you.
And then I'm going to shoot you in the face. So, Kevin Kline is,
Kevin freaking Kline.
I mean, the movie would be like it's got a good script, so I can't say it's only good because of him, but I mean,
it's definitely up because of him.
Yeah.
He definitely lends something to the movie.
There's nothing I can say bad about him. He's so good.
He's perfect. His character's hilarious. He's stupid, but he's masculine, but he's like it's great.
Like I said, 2 types of smarts.
He's great.
I would be annoyed at the lack of book smarts, though.
I would be very
basic.
Honestly, if he wasn't so
if
confident
you're reading to me and
wrong.
you're trying to be romantic, but you're reading me an Italian menu, I know enough Italian to know
to be like.
I mean, most people do know the word mozzarella.
Unless you're saying I'm going to cover you in mozzarella, like maybe that could be a sexual thing. But if I hear mozzarella, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck?
All he's doing is screaming words like mozzarella, gorgonzola, parmigiana con spinaci.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I still know what spinaci is. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, like I know enough Italian to know that you're just telling me food. I would be like, excuse me. Like, when John Cleese starts speaking Russian...
Sono italiano in spirito.
That...
No, he's actually
I don't know enough Russian.
Italian.
Dad did. Dad
cool.
spoke... You know, Dad was like, well, he's just like...
He's narrating.
He's like reading from a guidebook or
Yeah,
something.
he's like, this is what it used to be a long time ago.
Yeah.
Daleko. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what that means.
But I don't know enough Russian. I know a handful of words. You could probably get away with reading me a menu in Russian, because I mean,
That's true.
unless I heard like pierogi or something, like, okay, wait. Italian.
Russian, the new language of letters.
I think Russian is sexy. It's a nice language. Like,
When he fucking pops his socks
he
off
pops
of
his
his arm.
socks off. Okay, no, John Cleese had
Okay,
beautiful
we
thighs.
need to end. Right there is the point that
we're
we
done.
should end.
We're done.
He's
Jeanette's
naked.
just-
He's full ass naked.
It's got wonderful thighs. Thank you for joining the podcast.
We talked about the movie a little bit. We talked about a lot of different things.
Oh my god.
The Russian is nice.
Every time Jeanette goes off, man.
Well, it's important to know.
To know how good John Cleese's thighs are.
Be forewarned.
Because he was a soccer
there
player,
are
damn it.
big, tall, naked British men
Okay.
in this movie. You need to know.
We're
You
cutting
need
it
to
off.
be prepared.
We're cutting it off.
Be forewarned.
Thank you for joining the
There's-
podcast.
Don't go into this movie expecting nothing. There's going to be stuff.
There's one scene.
There's a full-out sex scene with Kevin Kline. Be prepared.
You're not even seeing anything. And he's got a shirt off. And that's all you see.
You see quite a bit.
You see him bouncing up and
There's
down on
quite
top of
a
her.
bit.
You don't see.
Yeah.
And the shot is like this. You don't
You see the shape of John Cleese.
Yes.
I
I
mean,
mean,
see.
You see.
It's
Okay,
not an X-rated film,
Yes.
Jeanette.
It's not X-rated, but it is.
It's pretty
enough
filthy.
Much as she wants it to be. Damn.
Well.
Anyway,
It's
thank
enough to bring
you
up and
for
inform people.
coming to the podcast. I regret everything. And we will see you next week.
Okay. We will.
Okay.
It's fine. It's fine.
I thought it was bad enough listening up to Kevin Kline on my own, but Jeanette goes off on Kevin Kline and Michael Palin and John Cleese. Let's mix in Jamie Lee
Mark
Curtis.
Ruffalo.
Let's just everybody.
Literally everybody. Even Stephen Fry. Hey.
We're done. We're leaving. Goodbye.